And they will sit here, as grown as they are, they will sit here and try to remind you that you are not on the path that you're supposed to be on. But I'm here to tell you the devil is a lie. The devil can bounce in your mama. He can bounce in your daddy. He can bounce in your aunt, your uncle, your sister, your brother, your best friend, your husband, your children, your dog, your cat, your fish. He can bounce into anything. He can bounce into your electronics. Hear me when I tell you, you need to go back to the person who raised you. If your life, if you know that you've been doing everything that you were called and spoken on to do, and you know that your path has been rocky, and when you went to your parents and you asked them, and they were supposed to guide you, and they guide you, and things still did not follow up the way it was, you need to go back to the person who was supposed to mentor you or assist you and be like, what happened? Because I did everything you told me to do and it still didn't plan out. Because I'm going to tell you something that God said unto me today. This is Mother's Day, by the way. God said unto me today, he said, your parents were supposed to pour into you and they were supposed to guide you, not ridicule you. A lot of us, especially our chosen black sheep, anointed children who were outcasted, who were considered the problem child in the family, the issue in the family, all right? They just seem like they never can get along with anybody, like they're the problem. I'm letting you know right now, everybody that was pouring into you or trying to teach you, this is the way that you're supposed to do it, this is the way you gotta do it, or whatever, and every time you try to go against them, they would say, oh, you just so disrespectful, you don't know how to listen, you don't know how to follow instructions. No, you don't know how to steward your children. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of you parents, the way that you steward your children was because your children would not follow the rules and regulations that you had in your household. And when they would act out, because they were actually chosen to be the children that were supposed to be the generational curse breaker. They were chosen. They were the David. They were the Joseph. They were chosen through the womb with the characteristics they had to carry out a big project. And what you were supposed to do is find out what your child's purpose was and teach your children how to connect and root and be deeply rooted within God, how to fast, how to read the word. You were supposed to know the word. You weren't even supposed to have me. Let's start there before you knew what you was carrying. A lot of you guys don't know what you were carrying in your belly. And when we were born, you thought we were just an average Joe. And because we used to get a report card that said we were too talkative or we won't sit down, you label as disrespectful and disobedient. And then spoke spells on us saying, you such a bad kid, you ain't never gonna be nothing. And then expect us, because you were the only person that we knew to love and the only person that we knew that was somebody that we were supposed to respect. We began to believe that. So we then became this mediocre fall in line when we were supposed to stand out the whole time. So we go out here and we work the jobs, okay? We were compliant. We allow ourselves to be controlled by the enemy, because to be in the world is to be controlled by the enemy. And then when we fell short because our spirit would not allow us to carry out this fake, phony fantasy of the life that you have for us, that you think was for us, now that we are sitting here trying to restart ourselves and we're going back to you for help, you acting like we are out of line. No, you are out of line. God said that you were supposed to raise these children up in me. You were supposed to pour into your children, but you were supposed to not judge. You were never supposed to cast the first stone. That was God's job. You were sitting there doing God's job, and then you wonder why when we come back to you as a child to a father, as a child to a mother, as a child to a parent, because that is what the father is to all of us, the parent. When we come to you with our problems, with things that are concerning of us, what do? You then begin like, oh, we're out of line. Oh, you're overstepping. God would never do that. God would never say, hush, be quiet, listen to me. God watched Moses stump his cane, just begin to just become upset and outraged, and God never sit there and just, begin to judge him and talk about him and ridicule him and bring him down even more. God listened, God corrected. But that is God. At the end of the day, you are not God. So when you sit there and provoked us After we came to you trying to share with you, the only thing that we remember was supposed to be loving to us in a safe place, because that's what you were supposed to be, a loving, safe space. That's it. And a lot of y'all didn't even do that. A lot of y'all didn't even protect us. A lot of y'all showed us that you were the monster, that you were the weapon that was formed in our own household, that was supposed to be a safe place for us. And then when we're trying to navigate through our trauma, we're trying to navigate in this world that never did care about us to begin with. And then we're trying to relearn the lies that were told to us and wake up from this what is it called? Simulation. Thank you, Holy Spirit. You then want to say, oh, you need to snap out of reality, out of this reality. This is not play. We're not playing. You did not guide us. You failed on doing your job. I remember having a conversation and I was just like, when did homeschool start? Homeschool did not just start in the 2026 and the 2025 of the coming year. It did not. Homeschooling was known back in the 80s. It wasn't common, but it was known. And if y'all would have did a little bit of research, that would have saved a lot of us right there. Autism didn't start happening in the 2000s, y'all. It was already out here. We already hear how Michael was on the spectrum. And I'm sure a lot of people didn't even understand what was going on in his world. So because people don't understand things, they want to say it's ridicule. They want to ridicule and mock and so forth. And what do I hear? And I'm sure a lot of y'all hear, well, we didn't know. We did the best we could. Well, you know what? You didn't do good enough. And you need to admit to that. You need to stand on that. And you need to hold your children down for that. We are still your children. God did not say when you turn 20, you are not my child. Y'all kicking y'all kids out way too soon, not teaching them enough, not rooting them in God. I don't care about a checkbook. God will supply all needs according to his children. But y'all are not even rooting us. Some of us are not finding about God until we hit rock bottom. Until we're getting caught into situations with demons and then we're finding out about God. That is way too late. Hold up. That is way too late. Y'all failed us. And now that we are trying to navigate the world in our chaos, y'all are just right there to remind us how messed up you guys are. The Davids, the Josephs, y'all are reminding me day in and day out. It was always you guys. And now we got to carry the weight of what you should have carried before. It should be smooth sailing. I should not be repeating the same cycle as my generation of family members and traditions and cultures. I should not. It should be better. My children's children shouldn't even experience a public school. If they do, then I done failed. And if their children experience a public school, I done failed because I broke that. Homeschooling all the way. And that's how you want to be. You should be better than your generation, the generation before that, and the generation before that. If not, there is something wrong. We are supposed to be breaking cycles. And when I go to you and hindsight for something that is of need or something I want to share or something that I'm not willing to do, you should understand that, because I guarantee if we take this thing back to the root, it was you that failed me to begin with. You failed me. They be trying to say, oh, I gave you food, I gave you water. Okay, that was essential. You had to do that or you were going to go to jail. That's not even, that's a flex for you. Then we're definitely like not in the, it went over your head. You already done lost the memo of the message. Your job was to pour into me, support me in everything that was according to God. And if you would have rooted me in God, if you would have taught me the true and living God, if you would have took the time, okay, before having me, taught me, or anyone that is a chosen, I'm speaking to all black sheep, all chosen children, we should not be going through this if you would have learned what you should have learned. And understand that you failed, but to really sit here and act like you didn't do nothing wrong and to walk away, hang up, no longer want to have conversation with me. A lot of these children that don't have relationships with their parents is for this very reason. The trauma and the failure of what you raised me up in, and now you don't want to take accountability to it. The conversation you and your father are going to have when it's time is going to be, I would love to be a fly on the wall, because this right here does not get talked about enough. And it's time that we start taking back accountability for y'all not doing what you're supposed to do before we even popped out.